This is
Yeah.
a collection of stories.
Landover Legend Studios presents.
I've been through a lot.
The I Can't Make This Up podcast.
Yeah.
By Big T.
And I called him. He's sitting in his car, and I'm like, "Hey, man, do you know where I put my phone at?" And he bust out laughing. And I'm trying to find my phone. This is a serious moment. And he's like, "You
Yeah.
fucking dumbass! What did you call me on?" I'm like, I wanted to throw my phone because that's how mad I was. Like, my other phone. He was like, "Oh, it's on the floor next to the fridge," and I'm like, "You really thought that I called you on something I was looking for?" And,
Oh man, this shit has me rolling, man. That's brilliant. That is fantastic.
and it was more of an insult to my intelligence than anything because I'm like, "You're the slow one," like, honestly, like.
He
I'm
just
not,
straight up like, man, I love you, but you're dumb as shit. Oh man, love the brutal honesty in that one. But that's essentially what my wife's like to me. She's like, you do these podcasts. You're now going to be doing music promotion. You work in a bank. Yeah, which is the worst thing in the world. Well, she's like, but you still forget to pick up my shortbread when I eat it. And she's like, how can you be so smart in some ways but so dumb in the other? And I'm like, just treat me like the boys. Explain everything to me in the slightest, minutest detail. It's not a kid thing, it's a man thing. Tell me exactly what you want. Like, as much, no, there's no such thing as that, like the smallest, there's no such thing as too much information. Tell me every little thing that you need so I've got a good chance of not fucking this up. And I still fuck it up. It's like, you know how like some guys, they sleep on the couch because their wife will send them to the couch because they're being, like a git. I sleep there for a vacation, man. Well, I sleep there so my wife can get some peace and quiet because like I'm a dead weight. I snore like a fucking charging rhino, and she needs her sleep. So I don't. So I'm like, right, I'll sleep downstairs tonight. She's like, why, you've not done anything wrong? We've lived together for like almost 7 years now. How do you not get how I work? I'm sleeping down the stairs to give you this peace because you're constantly complaining the next morning. I barely had the bed. Like you took the covers and you were snoring away, and then the cat jumped up, and then when the boys tried to come in, I give anything for a rest. And I'm giving you this rest, and you're questioning it like I've done something wrong.
There's a device. I think it's called a snore doctor that'll help you with
Yeah.
that. It's
That
not
like one of those
painful.
plug things to go up your nose? Because I had
Yeah.
them and they do not work. Because when you're snoring, as loud as I do, they just come straight out. It's like so she was essentially she was getting missiled at her every night. Because
Damn.
I'll cuddle into her to go to try and get myself over. Then I'll roll away and fall asleep. But just before that, it's like what I had the loudest sneeze. What I could literally wake the dead with the sneeze. And one of the times I had it in, and I was like, I'm going to sneeze. Before I could that way it's coming, but you can't get to your mouth quick enough. And I just went, phew, and it came right out and bonked her right in the back of the head. She thought I'd taken donkey punched her or something.
Wow.
Unreal. What she's like, what the fuck was that?
I
It's crazy. But married life can be crazy, especially when kids come along.
your personality reminds me of Bill Burr so much. I hope you don't take offense to that.
None taken. None taken. But I'm okay with that. He's well known. He's well known, so I'm okay with it. Well, best what, and I always like to give people like little tidbits of advice that they would never expect to hear from anybody. So for anybody that's that maybe listening, that's either going to get married or they're thinking about getting married, or they're on that kind of journey towards marriage, the only advice that I will give you is always make sure you get a piece of your own buffet, like your own catering service. make sure that you get someone that's going to run that shit for you. Because the amount of times that I've heard from my guests saying that the buffet was amazing, like the food on selection was amazing, and I didn't get to touch jack shit because I'm too busy having to check on everybody, make sure they're having a good time. Well, and they're all raving about like the chicken tikka or something that they've had or whatever from the wedding, and I'm like, none of you fuckers could pick me up a sausage roll. Are you kidding me? Really? So I give this advice to every man that's getting married to make that one of your best man's duties to make sure that they feed you. And everybody I've given the advice to, I ask them, so did you do it? And they go, nah, I forgot about it and I didn't get a chance. And you're regretting it now, aren't you? Aye. Because they all just talk about it. Thank you.
Was there any dish that you tried here that wasn't available in Scotland that you enjoyed?
The IHOP.
Uh-huh.
IHOP. We don't have an IHOP over there, and I love. We have pancakes, but we don't have an IHOP. We have pancakes, we just don't have an IHOP, and I absolutely loved it. We went there when we first got to America, and we left the day before we were coming back, and one of the girls was there, and she was asking us. Oh, my camera's dropped out. Hold on. I'll keep telling the story anyway. So we were there, and she was asking, what we were doing. We're like, oh, we're just going back to the hotel, get packed up, we're heading back home. It's like, wait, where are you from? I'm like, we're Scottish. Oh, I love Scotland. You've been to that tartan kill over there? And I'm like, no, because that's the bastardization of what Scotland should be.
Okay.
But you've got something called the tartan kilt with an England flag and miniskirts. I'm like, that's not Scotland. That's not even the Brigadoon stereotype of Scotland. Everybody thinks that we all are like Groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons.
Wow.
Yeah. That actually that was in a poll that got published where they interviewed some Americans, and they all thought we lived in sheds and we didn't have internet. And they're not wrong. I'm only kidding. But yeah, no, she was absolutely lovely. The waitress there, and we explained that we'd just been on our honeymoon and things like that, and she came out and brought us out free desserts as a thank you for for just being for being nice to her. And I'm like, it's common courtesy, just be nice. But that just made her day, and it made me feel so happy that we were able to do that for her. I loved that ice cream. The ice cream was brilliant. It was made with love. I really appreciated that. I mean, we do have American foods and stuff over here, but I always think it's much better over there for the real thing. Like, we don't have steak for breakfast over here. But we don't have steak and eggs for breakfast. Well, because that's cardiac arrest, essentially. But when you're in Vegas and it's acceptable and it's only like $5, you jump in on that. You're going for it left, right, and center. It's brilliant. And the Twinkies, gotta say the Twinkies. My brother has a story about the Twinkies, so I'm just gonna say it and embarrass him. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to Vegas, and of course, a lot of things are buffet portions, the all you can eat kind of stuff. So me and my brother, being absolute gannets, we loved it. But I knew to kind of pace myself to start with for the first couple of days. He had no filter. He's just going and eating everything that's practically available. So we get to the third day, and he's not even taking a poop in those 3 days. And he decides he's going to get a couple of things for his missus and his stepkids. And we went to one of the shops, and he saw Twinkies. And he's like, I've never tried these Twinkies before. I think I should try these Twinkies. I'm like, yeah, well, let's try a Twinkie. Why not? So I thoroughly enjoyed the Twinkie, but my brother had this, and it was like sparking the fuse of this giant bomb of food that was in his stomach. And you've seen him; he's whiter than me, and that's hard to beat. But he went grey. He's like, I think I'm going to be sick. Straight into the toilet. That was him. He was out the game. And he always says, it was a bastard Twinkie. And I'm like, no, it wasn't the fact that you ate 3 days worth of crap and you didn't take a crap. It was the Twinkie. But I can't embarrass him without embarrassing myself. So that's what I'm kind of strangely proud of. I clogged an American toilet. At this point, I was like quite skinny. So a skinny white dude from Scotland managed to clog up a toilet so bad in Vegas that he had to leave $20 and an apology note to room service for doing it.
That's I don't want to say that's bad, but it happens.
It does happen. It happens in Scotland as well, but because it was in America, I was like, I really have left my mark on society here. I just didn't think it would be a skid mark.
They're still telling stories about your
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah, but like going up and it'll be like the no, again, might seem a bit stereotype, but it's not. It's like the Puerto Rican maids going up, going, "Watch out for El Skido." But he was the skinniest white dude. But he could eat like he belonged in Canada.
So, are you currently binge watching anything like on Netflix or anything
Well,
like that?
having a wife and kids, like you don't really get a chance to like majorly binge watch stuff
Mhm.
unless it's the kids programs. I'm really enjoying Chippendale.
Okay.
Chippendale Park Life. Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies is a good show. Loving that. I couldn't believe that Muppet Babies actually caused controversy.
Yeah.
Well, it was because in one of the episodes, Gonzo was wearing a dress, and all the far right extremists were, and that was the quote from the article. The far right extremists went, "Oh, boys shouldn't be in dresses. Oh, this isn't right. This is encouraging transgender and trans people." And I'm like, the kid was wearing a dress because he's a kid. It's so simple. There was nothing even about it. They didn't even make a big deal about it on the show. It was unreal what the hate that came out of it. It was quite sad, in all honesty. That is a show that was literally in the title marketed for babies, and you're like a 50-year-old like skinny ass white dude who's almost going to die. Well, and you're talking about this shit. Well, clearly you need to get laid big time. Well, and stop worrying about this trivial rubbish. Kids are going to do what they're going to do, man. Well, it's something that I've again struggled to learn. As a dad, I thought I was constantly failing my kids because I wasn't doing what was society was expecting me to do. And it took me until now, until they're 3, to realize these kids are they're kids. It's just something that happens, and as long as I'm there to make sure they've got food in their bellies and clothes on their back and a nice-ish place to live, and they've got and they're happy, who cares? It was like have you heard of the Australian kids program Bluey?
No.
It's blown up everywhere, and it's like this basically like a anthropomorphized dog family from Australia, which sounds like someone was tripping balls when they were making it, but it actually is quite good. Maybe I've just finally lost it. Well, I never had it, so yeah. But the thing that I noticed about it was Bluey, the main character's a female, but because she's blue, hence the name.
Mhm.
My brain was hardwired to thinking that Bluey was a boy.
Mhm.
It took me, and this is weird that a program for 6-year-olds made me have an introspective crisis of like, am I really a misogynist prick? I just associated this Bluey was a boy, constantly, rather than just not accepting the fact that Bluey was a girl, and then thinking I just bought my boys the Bluey house, the doll house. Does that mean that I'm giving them girly toys now? And that's me going, you really are deeply conditioned here, aren't you? To think these type of things, and it's something that you need to work on, man, because you wouldn't want your kids picking up on it. So you know that I have no life when a program for a 6-year-old is giving me a crisis of faith. You know what I mean? I'll tell you shows I'm really into right now. I've been getting into Star Wars. Well, I love Star Wars, but I finally got round to watching the Clone Wars. And almost finished Rebels because everybody was going on about the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there's like ties into the other shows.
Yeah.
I need to watch them first. And I mean, I grew up in the prequels. Yeah, that's all we need to say on that one. I've watched the sequels as an adult. That's all we can say on that one. So I didn't have high hopes.
Okay.
Didn't have high hopes. Well, I'm not looking back with some perspective. You do understand that they are okay, but yeah, that's another conversation for another podcast, man. I don't want your listeners going, this dude talking about some space shit. I'm out. But I started watching it. I was like, holy hell, this is good. This is meant to be for 6-year-olds, and it's like proper dark, like people getting beheaded and stuff. You don't see it on screen, but you know it's implied.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is really good. Well, I really loved it. And I'm a massive Marvel fan. Big MCU Marvel dork. Right here. Love my bit of my superheroes. I think I just love the fact that, in a world where he can't fight back, there's a place where the bad guys lose and the good guys win. I always kind of loved it. I just didn't like the fact there was no ginger superheroes though. I never really noticed any redheaded superheroes. So that made me a wee bit. There was a redheaded superhero in the Flash, but Kid Flash was a redhead.
Yeah.
But I prefer the CW's version. I have to admit, I prefer the CW. But it always annoyed me. Because you look in media and you're like, the gingers are always the bad guys. You think about you got Sinestro, you got all the ginger kids in South Park. Even in the Bible, Judas was meant to have red hair. I'm like, we're in like the Middle East or something. How can he have red hair? How is he not dead? If you're really a redhead, you should have died when you were 2 in that desert, man. Crazy the things you think about. And this is why I definitely don't need weed. But it's like if you want to get to the weird state of consciousness where even Jim Carrey looks at me and goes, "This guy's fucking nuts," then yeah, come spend an hour talking to me.
I look forward to spending another hour talking to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate you letting me talk with the biggest load of bollocks for the last hour and a bit. I really do. It's been the type of conversation that you really need, just somewhere you can just chill and you just feel like you're connecting with a friend, and that's why I loved your shows. It's what the same kind of style that I was looking for. Like it's like friends having a chat, and then maybe you'll talk about different things and see what things come up. What about yourself? What you watching over there at the minute? You guys get better shows than we do.
As of right now, I started binge watching this show Squid Game on Netflix. I also myself am a huge Marvel fan, but
hey, my people.
I think that as of right now, Marvel has better movies, but DC has better stories. And if those could translate, I think that they would give Marvel a run for their money, in my personal opinion.
It's what I always said to people, that I always prefer the DC series than I did to the movies because they've delved into it more. Because the characters are more they're more complex, they're darker, they're grittier. Something that can really work better, like in a 20-episode show, than in 2 hours of film. They've tried to up their game with varying results, in the movies. But I particularly loved when it was the Arrowverse. So like the early seasons of Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, even Supergirl. I like that. I like that as well. A lot of people go, but it's Supergirl. It's still good, especially when it jumped to the CW, even though we didn't get Calista Flockhart.
Now, if they had created those crossover episodes into featured films, I think those would have been top sellers, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think if they just got them in the theaters, that would have had my bums on the seat straight away. And it's one of those ones that I remember. It was the meme that was going around, and they were saying that they had the Avengers are putting together a team, but we need a speedster and an archer. And so they're going to Flash and Arrow and Hawkeye and Quicksilver look each other like, The fuck?
Oh
And I was like,
man.
yeah, well, at the point, they weren't wrong at that point. But it's like the meme where it's with Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, he's out of line. But that's the point.
I like
Something
that
I really
show.
like seeing that Marvel's up their game with is the diversity. I really like that. I mean, I was blooming heartbroken when I found out about Chadwick Boseman, man. That's such a talent, such a young age, and such a likable guy.
Hmm.
So it's that when it's like I'm scared to watch the what ifs in case I start bursting into tears hearing his voice.
Yeah.
Unreal. And well, especially like I liked Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was really good, a really strong film.
Hmm.
Didn't think it was Oscar worthy though, well, because it's essentially The Lion King, which is essentially Hamlet. Or no, Macbeth. Sorry, I'm the one that's meant to know fucking Shakespeare. Jesus Christ, man. But like, I still loved the film and I still thought it was great. And thought Michael B. Jordan like knocked out the park along with Chadwick Boseman. Like he even picked the right white guys to be in it, like Andy Serkis and Martin Lawrence. They picked it, and like they actually picked the white guys that people go, they won't steal the light, but they'll do a good job. And I liked the fact that you understood where Killmonger came from and what his rationale behind it, because that was something Marvel was really lacking at the time, were like compassionate, like understandable villains, aside from Loki, which was everywhere. So I really like that as well. And and when Killmonger like totally kicked T'Challa's ass, he's like, "This your king? Is this your king?" But right off the waterfall, I was like, "Man, that's amazing! That's fantastic! It just proves that you've got to give him second chances because he was shit in Fantastic Four stick."
Yeah, they say that Killmonger, Magneto, Thanos,
Mm-hmm.
all these people just went about pursuing their dream in the wrong way,
Yep.
but their message was still true,
Yeah.
and
It's the whole thing. That, congratulations, you're a prophet. I'm a survivor. And it was the worst part is when you go, I get it. But I know the gist of what happens in Marvel What If, where T'Challa just basically says to him, "Dude, you thought this through?" And he's like, "Oh, that's why it's wrong." Now, if anybody could do it, it would be him. It's unreal. But yeah, what would you say is your favorite MCU film?
Oh man.
I know. I just dropped the hand grenade on you. Sorry, buddy.
Ah, if
I spun it round. I've spun it round, and I'm quizzing you.
if I had to just pick one,
Yeah.
Winter Soldier,
Yes.
Captain America 2, Winter
Mm-hmm.
Soldier, just from the beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, just him jumping out the plane, taking on everyone on the boat, But I don't like his progression in martial arts from the first film to the second. Like,
Mm.
he was strong, and you got to think about it. He was in the sea for what 70 years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then all of a sudden, he's performing like taekwondo moves and shit like that. And I'm just like, there's no way he super serum these martial arts skills over
Yeah.
whatever the time period was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that particular aspect, but other than that, Cap hand to hand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was
At the time, it was some of the best choreography we'd seen in the Marvel movies as well, because that phase wasn't going so well. People seem to forget that Iron Man 3, I still think, sucked. Thor: The Dark World sucked.
Mhm.
Well, even though there are bits about it that were good, and there were like there could be pleasant points in it, they were still bad, and people were genuinely questioning what if after Avengers that Marvel could be on the ropes. And then Winter Soldier came out, and everybody was like, "Whoa, this is the guy that we didn't like in Phase One because he just seemed bland and boring, and he's kicking so much ass."
Mhm.
And then obviously the story itself is really good, and what what Scarlett Johansson like with the long straight red hair.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I didn't know why they didn't keep that type of look going for throughout with that type of hairstyle. Maybe that's just a personal preference, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury just being Nick Fury. Wow, Samuel Jackson, man. You could sit and just watch him read the phone book because he would just say motherfucker all the time. But apparently he doesn't swear that much, which is weird. The guy that beats him out for swearing is Jonah Hill because of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Samuel Jackson, you get beat by a fat white guy at swearing. It's quite interesting.
Well, it depends on the film. He's slim in some and he's big in others. Like he's like the perfect in between sometimes.
Yeah. I loved him in the Jump Street movies. Loved him in Jump Street. I know 22 Jump Street probably wasn't as well received as the 21 Jump Street, but I still loved the bit where he finds out that he's been shagging the captain's daughter. And Shannon Tatum is just ripping them apart, and Ice Cube just has the resting bitch face, just doesn't break at all. It's brilliance.
He was putting the bulletproof vest on. He's like,
yeah. Well, he's going out for a lunch with him, and he's just staring him down like he's gonna eat him. It's crazy. It was fantastic. And then like the bit at the end where they're playing off as all the different types of Jump Street, like Jump Street in Space, one where Jonah Hill supposedly leaves, is replaced by Seth Rogen, and then comes back to the next one, and he's like, "I'm glad you're back. What contract dispute?" Even just for that, I was like, this has it redeemed right now. I think it was so underrated. It was such a good film.
Oh man. Oh, I could sit here and talk the hours about different movies, but
we got to do a separate show for that and just talk about like the movies and the stuff that's kind of defined us. Well, man. I think it's why I love acting in that type of medium so much, because it doesn't matter if you're on the opposite side of the world. Someone somewhere will have maybe seen one film that's the same as you, and you can just talk about them like they're your next door neighbor. Or like your friend from or what is you would call it, like kindergarten.
Okay, grade school basically.
Yeah. So
man,
we'd call that like primary school.
Yeah.
So,
we definitely got to do this again, man, and
definitely.
I'll definitely want to come on your show one of these days, man. We got to.
Oh yeah, well you'll fit right in. You'll be in amongst the furniture right away. It's just gonna be this, but me talking even more bollocks. I've tried to be more restrained for your audience, because they're gonna be like, in the comments, dude, that white guy is weird. It's like, fear not the ginger white guy. We are a kind, simple people. We just like a lot of pizza.
I appreciate your honesty, to the fullest.
That's true. It's like I always say, me loving pizza is my only qualification to be a Ninja Turtle.
Now we could talk forever about Ninja Turtles, but I'm not going to get started.
Oh yes. I just did you get the loot crates that they done for TMNT? No,
not yet.
Yeah, I got them a little while ago. I got some good swag on that, and I was like, oh, dude, this is brilliant. This is like my nostalgia right there.
Yeah,
I was hoping that they would have because we can't get see the Turtles arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that so vividly as a kid with my brother, just playing that game. Well, we must have skinned my parents. Like they must have had to take out a second mortgage just because we were playing that game so much.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden it just went out of circulation, and we were distraught. We were so close to beating Krang. So close. And then my dad went, "You ain't getting any more money." And then I really thought about it. I was like, we weren't the best gamers. We sucked. Like he must have sunk at least £100 on us. Just so he could get some peace.
Wow.
And he even didn't get that much peace because we keep coming back. Dad, we need more coins because we ran out of lives. This is why, even though I'll say things about my dad, the fact that he was able to raise me and my brother in any way, I gotta give him respect. I would have, if that was me, I would have choked the little fuckers. I got so much love and respect for my family sometimes. I really do, don't I? But I'm about as sensitive as a fart in a hurricane.
All right, Andy.
Yeah.
Please.
That'll probably be a nice time to wrap it up, and for you to do a public apology announcement to your fans.
I I apologize for nothing that was said on this show by
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. I apologize for everything that was said on this show by me. And if you made it to the end, well, I think you deserve a medal, guys. Go out and get yourself a medal printed saying you survived the ginger apocalypse.
All right, Eddie. Please let the people know where they can reach you and anything else
Right.
that you want them to check out.
Yeah, like you can reach me on YouTube. That Mental Ginger Show. That's all on the interwebby things. Your YouTube, your like your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We will be going on Spotify once I can figure out how to work the bugger. So and then you've got Top Talent Promotions, which I'm on. So if any of you guys are like singers or looking to try and get your music out there, look me up on Facebook. Give me an IM. Send me your stuff. We'll chat. I'll try and get your music plugged for you. The Ginger Engine for all you Thomas fans. The whole maybe one person that's listened that's Thomas fan. So me. Again, that'll be coming in January. We're in the middle of recording that right now, and yes, it's just as insane as it sounds. And if you like any weird like rock music with bagpipes, check out the Ouija Warriors. That was my mental health project I've done for charity. So Ouija Warriors, Flower of Scotland, and you can and if you somehow survive all of those shows, I advise you book in some counselling. You're going to need it. But just keep listening to this guy first. Like this guy is fire, man. He's had to put up with me for an hour and 42 minutes. Dude, go get yourself a well-deserved drink. You really deserve it. Thank you so much for having me on. I know I sound like a complete weirdo, but I'm so grateful that you had me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey man, I just made a new friend that's cross seas. That's all.
Definitely, I hear that. If you ever make it over to Scotland, first of all, my condolences, and second of all, come hit me up. My boys will seem scared, but they're scared of everybody. Don't worry. they're even scared of me, and I'm the dad.
Scotland's actually on my bucket list, so most definitely.
Definitely, man, definitely. It's beautiful when you have the weather, they say, but even when you don't have the weather, it's still a good place to go. And I'll fill you in on the secrets of: are the haggis real? Is it a real animal? Why is Scotland's national animal a Loch Ness monster and a unicorn? Tune in when he does his Scotland tour to find out. That'll just be us like with a selfie stick walking around Glasgow, and I'm going, right, see that guy? Yeah, he's got a corn on his head. I'll explain that later.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but I'm gonna have to Google that once we get off.
Yeah, definitely, my friend. I'll give you some totally useless bar quiz information.
Hey man,
I really appreciate you, man. Much love and respect. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey man, I appreciate you for joining me today and filling me full of laughs and all types of insights about your life and the difference in our culture and the similarities as well.
Yeah, I mean, lots of things are different, but we all bleed the same blood at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Unless you watch that prick.
And we're all a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Well, compared to me, man, you could do seminars on what's happening in my head right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, the Landover Legend, aka Big T. This has been another installment of the I Can't Make This Up podcast. That's I Can't with a K make this
You're
up.
You're thinking about me saying it, aren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the I Can't Make This Up podcast. That is the I Can't with a K Make This Up podcast with the legend, aka Big T. I want to thank Andrew Durnan for coming here and hijacking my show and making me feel really uncomfortable for an hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate you. I love you all. Oh, I'm gonna get shot. This is why I can't go to America. Sorry, buddy.
Oh man, you can find this show everywhere available on podcast streaming networks. I'm also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Please, please don't forget to follow my guests and go along, uh, go along and support everything that he has going on. And don't forget to subscribe to everything he's also on as well. And if you enjoyed this show, please let me know in the comments. And if you didn't, you can let me know in the comments as well, and then I'll block you.
And if you didn't enjoy the show, don't worry. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from, but he's got so many better shows. Especially watch the one with the, like the sex coach. That shit's rolling. That's brilliant.
Oh man! Until next time, peace.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much for putting up with my insanity. Take care. Stay safe.
I can't make this up. Being the wingman got me punched in the face by this crazy chick. I can't make this up. Gave this cool old man a ride home, now I'm harboring the fugitive. I can't make this up. Pinned between the fat chick and the speaker, now my shirt smell like her backside. I can't make this up. It's all bad cause my man about to get stabbed in his hand over french fries. Bad.
I'ma let T tell you that story one day, man. It's a good one.
And I'ma let the Landover legend do the rest. I'm out.